Hi guys, it's Jim and Dawn.
We're back.
And we're just answering your questions tonight. And you guys already know we're the ones that went viral because of my haircut. Y'all know who we are. Okay, so we are answering your questions tonight. And one of the questions that we got is what should dictate to a guy how long he should be dating a girl and how long a woman should wait. So we're going to ask him first.
One of the points that I wanted to bring up at the end of the last video is how you represent each other and yourselves when you first meet, I think should have a fair impact on the answer to that question. If each of you say, I've been dating for a while, I'm seriously looking for somebody that's a long-term mate, eventually a wife or husband, and the other person says, I feel that way too, and you begin seriously and earnestly dating each other and nobody else, then you've kind of tacitly made a contract to make that decision efficiently and not drag that on for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
It's not the same as, you know, like I said, meeting somebody at the coffee shop and the next thing you know, you're going to a movie and having fun, you're going to dinner, you meet one of their friends, and it just suddenly you notice you've been hanging out for a year.
Right.
It's not developing the same way. So I think there's different answers to the same question.
Okay, so if a person has been very intentional, saying, okay, I was very intentional about my list of what I wanted in a man, right?
Yeah.
I like this, huh? I was very intentional, and you were very intentional. You were very intentional. He
My
was
list
very
was
intentional.
a lot shorter.
Whatever. His list was longer. Okay, but we were really intentional. And so it really goes to how long a woman should wait, has a lot to do with how she presents herself in the beginning to if she's very clear or not, right? Or intentional.
I think even if she's not clear about being intentional, that's also clear. If a woman doesn't really ever say anything about wanting to have a husband or looking to get married, but just shows up when you show up and says yes when you ask her out on a date, then the guy can't be left to interpret where she's at. But at the same time, he may have intentions that she hasn't stated. Okay. It's a communication kind of thing.
Okay, so that's a great answer. Now let me ask you another question then. How important is it for a man that a woman is really clear about the things that we want? Like even simple things like, you know, Valentine's Day and things, simple things. Is it important for us to be clear? How important is it for us to be clear? Is it important?
Well, as long as you're not clear 8 or 9 times a day about the same thing that you want, you know, then I suppose it's important. But it would. Repeated too much, it would probably lose its impact.
Right, of course. But seriously, as far, babe, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, so how important is it for us to be intentional? Like, you know, because a lot of women don't know. And you know, this dating thing, you're maneuvering your way through, and a lot of people don't know. And especially those that are much younger, and they are still really trying to figure it out. Whereas when you're older and you have children and you know that you're not just looking for certain things, but there are lots of different characteristics that need to be weighed in. How important is it for a woman to just be very clear?
Without risking tactfulness,
Yes.
I think it's important for a woman to be clear.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Sometimes really sharp-edged aggression can be presented as clarity, and it's not quite the same thing.
Right.
And so there does have to be, I would say, a soft hand play.
A gracefulness about it. Absolutely.
And I think there's a certain kind of grace in that part of the courtship that each person has to afford the other. But if one is run out to the extent of time where there hasn't been a response that says this is going where I'm going.
Right.
Then they need to have that made clear to them.
Okay.
And sometimes it's made clear by being indistinct. You know, kind of a blurred answer, a put-off answer. Oh, baby, can we talk about it later? You
right.
know,
so even that,
my
a
mom's
woman,
sick.
Right.
Yeah.
A woman can interpret as kind of like a no, like we're not going the same place.
And guys have heard it too. I mean, I've
Yeah,
heard this end of it.
yeah.
This end of it. You
Yeah.
know.
Okay. All right, guys. So that answers that question. And the next video, we are just going to go straight to some of your other questions that are a little lighter. Questions such as, what are some of the things we do to keep our relationship fresh? And that's our timer. And what kind of foods we eat? Do we work out? What are some of the things that we do? Do we prepare meals together? Just some of the things that we're being asked. And so
all those interesting things. You know, we wanted to bring a lot of the men into the program, so we thought those questions would.
Right,
yeah.
But here's a question that's really important that that guys may want to ask, may want to hear, and I'll tell you that one next time. See you guys.